STRR Royalties is a royalty and streaming company focused on carbon credits and precious metals. STRR just announced that Minera Alamos has entered into a definitive agreement to acquire Sabre Gold, including its Copperstone project, on which STRR holds a gold streaming agreement. STRR's CIO, Kevin MacLean, is here to explain what this means for STRR Royalties. I'm Martin Gagel with Market Radius Research. It's Monday, October the 28th. Please remember this is neither a recommendation nor investment advice. Kevin, thanks a lot for joining us. This Minera Alamos deal looks like a very positive development. Can you please give us an overview of the transaction and its implications for STRR Royalty shareholders?
Yes, thank you, Martin, and nice to be here again and talk to you. So this transaction, as announced this morning, with Minera Alamos acquiring Sabre for 27 cents a share, significant premium to market, over 100% premium, is key to us in terms of unlocking value in our streaming investment on the Copperstone mine, which is held by Sabre. Minera Alamos has done their homework and decided that the Copperstone mine is an excellent, advanced, permitted development project that their expertise can bring into production within 12 months of a construction decision. So this brings forward the visibility on cash flow from the mine, and of course, through our streaming cash flow to STRR Royalties. So this is very important to us. The streaming investment we have at Copperstone was originally $12 million US. So it's the largest single investment that we've made in our portfolio of royalties and streams. And we've been working with Sabre for a couple of years now to get the best buyer in here that can take this asset into production in the cleanest and most efficient way. So I think we found that and accomplished that task.
And Minera Alamos is a much larger company than Sabre, right? So they've got much more expertise on the balance sheet to really help move this project forward?
Yeah, so Minera Alamos is approximately a $200 million Canadian company. Post this transaction, it'll be about $150 million US. And so it's a good size. Sabre was a roughly $10 million company by comparison. But most importantly, Minera Alamos has a proven team of mine builders. They've been involved in the construction, successful, low-cost, on-budget construction of 4 mines in the past, and this will be their 5th. I've actually been very pleased today when speaking to stakeholders and interested parties who've been contacting me to speak about this transaction. I've received nothing but compliments on the skill set of the Minera Alamos management. So this is something that confirms what we thought, that these guys can do the job.
Excellent. And you said it from approval of construction will take about 12, the plan is that it would take about 12 months to get going, the project. Can you give any time frame about how long approval to construction could take? Is that like a near-term event, or is that like a quarter away or a couple of quarters away potentially?
Yeah, so this is a fully permitted mine, so that's not a roadblock at all. It's just a matter of how long Minera Alamos wants to take to optimize their plans to process ore at this mine. We were actually quite impressed when we were approached by them a couple of months ago. They'd already prepared a very significant and detailed plan of operations, so to speak, sort of to show us what they were planning to do with the asset. So they've been thinking about this for some time and done a lot of homework. So now it's just a matter of how they tweak their processing facility to optimize the recovery of metal from the mine. They do think they'll be operating a flotation circuit, which will recover both copper and gold from the system, which is fine with us. And most importantly, and this was just a really great windfall surprise for us, they actually have milling equipment sitting in a warehouse in Quebec that they had purchased some time ago as an investment against a future need for such equipment. And so here it is, ready to go, put it on a truck, take it down to Arizona, put it in place, and start the mine. So I can't say exactly how long it will take them to optimize their plan, but once they do, they're ready to go with the equipment in hand. They're not having to wait to get a mill from China or some such thing. And they've said in their press release today that once they start, it'll be 12 months till production.
Could you just give us a quick overview of the streaming agreement itself? What are the sort of the key elements to it? And I believe it's not just the streaming itself. You also get a fairly sizable equity stake initially in Sabre, and now it'll be as a part of the acquiring company, right?
Yes. So we have a 4% life of mine stream on the Copperstone mine, which means we get 4% of the gold production every year. The initial plan is to produce about 40,000 ounces of gold. So we would get approximately 1,600 ounces of gold from that. But our agreement is that we have to pay for this gold with 25% of the spot value of the gold price. So we're getting, for every 1,000 ounces of gold we get, we pay for 250 ounces, so to speak. You can do the math. It's basically equivalent to a 3% royalty, where you get 3% of the gold for no cost. So that's how the stream works. With the current mine plan in effect, we calculate at $2,500 gold, we would have roughly 17 million US of revenue coming from this mine over the life of the mine, which is the first 6 years. But we're very confident. We've been to the site a couple of times with geologists, and we're very confident this mine will be going on for many more years than just the 6 years initially contemplated. So we think life of mine royalties will be well in excess of, pick a number, 20 million, 25 million. It's a very good long-term investment.
So there's a lot of, you figure there's a lot of good exploration upside on that project.
Yes. So the mine plan only contemplates about half of the resource coming through the mill. And so the other half is still there to be calculated as to how it should be processed as well. And we think a large percentage of that, as well as additional discoveries in the future, will be feeding that mill for a long time to come.
All right. As you're a royalty and streaming company, you've got a portfolio of assets. This is one of your several assets. How significant is this in your asset portfolio? Is this one of the bigger ones or smaller ones, or what's the scale of the potential value for STAR?
Yeah, I would say it's on the mining side, it's the largest. In terms of the percentage of the mining portfolio that it's worth, 40%. 45, give or take. It's a little hard to pin that down now because another key investment for us, our Gold Mountain royalty, that company's in transition under new management to a different mining plan. We've met with them a couple of times, and we're very excited actually about the new approach and what this mine can produce in the future, but we don't yet have a new defined life of mine plan to sort of reanalyze to figure out the value. Having said that, we think the value under the restructuring under new management will be higher than what we originally contemplated. So for now, Copperstones are number one, but Gold Mountain could catch up.
All right. And with your share position, are these locked shares, or are they liquid investments that you could sell off as needed? And is your plan to, sounds like there's upside potential to the project, or are you planning on holding on to it for a while and seeing some of the potential upside from this project?
Yeah, we have agreed to lock up our current holding of Sabre shares to vote in favor of this transaction. Once the transaction is completed, our $2 million payable to us from Sabre will be converted into Minera shares, and those shares will be free trading. Our plan is to hold those shares as long as we can because we think there's significant upside to them, perhaps a double. And to give you some context behind that, what Minera Alamos purchased today with Sabre was they picked up a preliminary economic analysis done last year, which showed a value for the mine of approximately $19 million US. And that's in the context of gold being $2,000 life of mine. If you do the math on anywhere near today's gold prices, the value of that asset is north of 150 million US. So it's north of the pro forma market value of Minera Alamos after this transaction is completed. So this one transaction, this one acquisition by Minera has actually backfilled their valuation completely, ignoring the three significant mining assets they have in Mexico in the gold sector, plus some other copper assets. If you look at their other gold mining assets, they have a current producing mine called Santana, which is producing 20,000 ounces a year, plus or minus, can do that for another several years. They've got a development project called Cerro de Oro, which has a preliminary economic analysis valuation of about 150 million US, and that's at a $1,600 gold price. So you can imagine what the value would be if marked to market, so to speak. So Cerro de Oro also backstops the value of Minera Alamos' market cap. And then beyond that, you have another asset called Fortuna in their portfolio, which would be developed around 2026, which is also worth about 70 million US, but that's at $1,250 gold price, which is where the economic analysis was done there. So you can see the sum of the parts here is a multiple of the market cap. That's why we want to hold these shares as long as we can, because we think there's significant upside.
All right, Kevin, we covered a lot. I think we've hit all the main points here. Is there anything else that we missed or anything else you want to highlight before we wrap it up?
Yeah, I think, one of the things that's been concerning us is the disconnect in the marketplace valuation of Star Royalty shares versus what we see as the value of our portfolio. We can sympathize with the market being disappointed with delays, for example, at Copperstone, with some operational issues at the Gold Mountain asset, which are now being rectified. So we understand that. So when things go wrong in the mining sector, the market tends to assign pretty close to a zero to those asset values. And we're now in the process of restoring value and sort of hopefully working away at that disconnect between what we see as the hard value of our investments and what the market's willing to pay for. So we're quite positive now that the performance of Star Royalty shares can be much, much better.
Kevin, thank you for giving us that update. Congrats on the news. That seems definitely a positive development for the company and shareholders. And have a great day. Appreciate you taking the time.
Thanks, Martin. Nice to talk to you.